them all a chance to leave if they want to. Got it letter from you?
I'll let you off.
We got it.
already had one.
Right.
Alright,
Thank you.
Any questions for us?
well, I don't have a question. Y'all got a question on it?
Yeah, you just gonna give us an offer for $75,000 for that piece of property. What make you think is the water up on it is not worth more than that?
Well, since you brought that up,
That's right.
the water, that's our concern. That's when we met with Frank before last week and give you an idea as far as numbers. Well, we use roughly 8 to 9 million gallons a month. That's 53 million gallons a month, which is like 15% of what we pump. So what we want to do, we want to protect that area right there. And that's our goal, is protect it. And I know Frank Shaw's engineer, he's our engineer. And so we sort of haggle on this. The proposed fire site was up here. We're downgrading. Northeast, it comes that way. And that's what we talked about the other day. I mean, y'all know which way the creek goes, so it's common sense on how, so we want to protect the site. And as far as somebody says, oh, they're gonna sell and put a car out there. I mean, that would never happen.
I didn't hear that.
With our board. Oh, I heard that today.
We hadn't heard that.
Leeds Water Works car sale, so.
One thing I've heard though is, out on the Coconut Telegraph, you know, is that, that given to the city for a park, and that we might not be able to sell it. And I don't think that's even been investigated. That just came up that I heard the last couple of days.
Somebody said like a long-term lease,
You know, so I don't
something
know.
like that.
Well,
But
You understand our concern. We want to protect the water quality. That's the longest water source in this city. It's been there forever, and that's all we want to do.
But one other thing that I'm concerned about is, let's just say that, it don't work out at the Army for some reason. And we can't find another place. And, I mean, time's just, you know, it's just time. I mean, it's sitting there, it's been sitting there a long time by itself. We might have to have it for a fallback.
well, I understand where you're going there, but don't look at me, cause I'm not going that way. But at the same time, I'm still shooting that bill now. If there's so much water down that bill, we don't wanna give it away either. $75,000 may sound like a lot of money to everyone around, and we wanna protect it too. That's the reason I voted the way I did.
Right.
But I'm not gonna be here forever either. But at the same time, you know, we need to sit down and negotiate the price, not just you bringing a price up and say, I'm gonna give you that much money for it.
Well, it's obviously a very important piece of property for all our purposes.
Let me read a thing that Frank, that I brought up to Frank, and he just, on page 4. Geotechnical engineering does not permit the accurate prediction of when or where sinkholes will occur, and essentially any area underlain by soluble limestone is subject to some inherent risk associated with the possibility of ground subsidence due to karst activity. It is our opinion that the proposed development is subject to at least a moderate degree of sinkhole-related risk. B3 encountered very soft soils which may be indicative of an existing sinkhole activity. So if there's sinkholes there and you have to de-water the site, when y'all go make your proposed, you have to de-water. And if you de-water that sinkhole site and you get into the spring which goes down gradient, and this happened down south, I remember water. They sucked it out, and the well was, they pulled it out so hard it wasn't able to recharge. So what are you going to do to our gallons a month? Sure, it's valuable, but you know, and like Frank said, well, I don't think you're going to have a problem. And the board asked, which you would if you're on that board, you'd ask the same thing.
Right.
Are you 100% sure that it will not affect the spring? His answer, Well, I'm pretty sure, I'm confident. Give me 100%, like the good lawyer says, shall or should, may or must. That's law school, right? It's always the shoulds and the mays. There ain't no must and shalls in this paper right here. So, and you know, all we want to do is make sure it is protected. You're right, that's a good water hole. And when we go to Alabama Rural Water once a year, we always enter the taste test for the state. We're always in the top, we finish second twice, and we're right there at the top. And of our 7 sites that we have, we always take Rowland because that's the best site, and it you know, so, again, that's a special piece of
And I
water.
don't want no one to have it other than you all.
Okay, so that's good.
But we're not gonna sit up here tonight.
Well, you know, I'm, as
And
a,
Mr. Barnes, and I know Mr. Corson sitting back there too, we just not gonna give it to you tonight.
You want to just come and, you know,
But
Johnny
we're
said,
negotiable.
we're in this together. You know,
We're in together.
We're in together.
All jokes aside.
I think we need to, though, make sure we can sell it, wait about selling it, and, to, get the price, if we do decide to sell it, get a price that's, worth it to us, or hold on to it.
Yeah. And y'all been real good to the city. You really
What
have.
are y'all gonna do with it? Are y'all gonna improve it to a park?
Well, if it's you just have to take an underbrush as far as taking trees and all out. You know,
I mean, y'all plan on going in and improving it to a park, right?
whatever. The board of directors, and, you know, I mean, we're all on the same
I mean,
page.
you know, I don't see a problem with the price if y'all gonna build it into a park. You know, because y'all gonna invest money in the property too. And plus, we could use $75,000 to do this armory job.
well, you know, that's your decision whether you're gonna whether you're gonna improve the land or not.
What we
It's
would
very
do,
valuable, it's very valuable land, obviously. And, as the finance chairman, I would like to consider more of, around $158,000.
Well, I mean, you know, you won't get down the price, they probably calling those in too, we got with us.
I don't think they can.
I don't think so, so
you
we
know,
paid ahead
We
on it.
paid off, we
Well, I
paid
mean,
3 years in
but,
advance.
Okay.
well, that's thing,
I'm
you know,
funny with that, got funny.
That's
But
all you need to,
But what I'm trying to say is, they was there when we needed help. That's what working together is.
I understand. I don't want that rehash all that.
And Bill, and I like to say this here, the Water Works Board has been good to the city, and they're doing a good job with it. But you know, when you come down to business, business is business, and business is about us trying to do what's right for the city, and y'all have done right about us. I think we need to look at Mr. Barnes and Mr. Corson, and how much money we can get out of y'all. We need it. I'm a good businessman when it comes down to that.
I think the land is valuable for the very reason you said it protects the water source. I mean, obviously, we've seen what it would cost to ever build on it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I would hope that nothing would ever be, just like y'all didn't want anything built there because we were worried about the water source.
right, water quality.
And so that's one of my concerns, if we were to sell it, is that it be dedicated as a park area so that it can't ever be concreted or paved or, you know, put at risk for our water source.
Right, we have wellhead protection in the air of all of our well sites. Our job is, anytime there is an issue with wellhead protection, our job is anybody that's gonna build, when they try to build that, remember the junkyard over there, Kevin? We had to go and argue with that guy several years ago. Off on him.
I remember.
Back over there, that guy, again, wellhead protection, downgrade and all over, you know, so, it's about protecting the soil. And, you know, finance, you need to make with the board and come up with a solution, so I'm all for that and get together with that. You know.
Okay.
Well, let me add, Jack Corson's here too, but let me answer your question, two of you council member questions. Bill, your question, the lady that asked the question, or maybe both ladies asked the question. About 2 years ago, we made this very proposal for the mayor. About 2 years ago. It's the very same proposal we're laying on the table tonight. When we made that proposal, we agreed, the board agreed and voted on, Jack, if I get off, you give me, make sure I say the right thing. We voted to make that a park, to add it to the park grounds forever, to be used as park grounds. We're not interested in making a profit, or we're not interested in putting any kind of business or anything else down there. What we're trying to do is protect our water, is what we're trying to do. And we have a 1,500-foot protection around the well, if you will, if you'll think with me. Okay, that 1,500 feet means that you can't do much of anything without rural water and ADAM's approval. They have to approve it. So any notion that you've got about anything going on that land, you can put it out of your minds, because that's not going to happen unless the judge at the courthouse tells us it's going to happen. If they do, then that's what's going to happen. But all we're trying to do is to help out. We're not trying to make a profit. We're not trying to, we come up with this $75,000 2 years ago when we presented it to the mayor. At that time, he said he had no interest in it at that time. And we said we'd discuss it at a later date. Okay, now is a later date. But we have several options. That 1,500-foot circle around that thing is not just drawn there to be shown on pencil and paper, or to show what is there for a reason. And that site that y'all, and we don't need to rehash that and go into all that, but that's 90 feet away from the wellhead. If you walk it off, it's 90 feet. So, as far as negotiation, everything's negotiable, Kelly. But now, we are not in a position that we have to have that land. Don't think you've got us in a box. You ain't got us in a box.
Well, I wasn't trying to put you in a box, but I'm saying, well, I'm gonna sit up here and tell you I'm gonna protect that area down there.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm aiming to do. And that's what I just said to the mayor
Well,
a while ago, and I voted against it. Now, wait a minute, one other thing. If you turn it into a park and you dedicate it to be a park, you can never use it for nothing else but for a park.
Yes.
If it was dedicated. But I'm looking at, in years to come, you may need it for the water itself.
Well,
Now,
that would not be your problem.
Well, it would be if I needed some water.
Well,
I mean,
it's been there for 100 years, or 70, 80 years, and it's pretty well what's there is, hold on, Bill, you're not the hook.
But Bill, I think Bill know what this is going, so we need to just cut it short right now. We'll just cut this short.
Okay, it suits me, I can get tired, I've been around here a long time.
You and I understand which direction we're going in.
Yes, sir, and we're on the same page,
We on the
just
same
we
page.
disagree exactly how to get to the top of the page.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, we gonna have to get that together.
We got that together before, it's not our first trip.
Right.
Okay, what's your point?
It won't be our last.
No, it won't. What's your point?
Okay.
Are you willing, all we're asking you to do is consider this. That's what we're asking you to do.
All right.
But we're not gonna get, I can tell you, and Mr. Corson, you can jump right in here, I'll let Mr. Corson tell you, he's probably the best negotiator in the room. On about half the leagues, he had to negotiate somebody to get some of it. So he's a great negotiator. But we're not in a position to where we need this land immediately. You know, like if you're going to build a new house and you want to buy it in subdivision, that sort of thing. We're just not in that position. We have rights already, but it's kind of a no-brainer to me if somebody's willing to come in and clean off your land for you, fix it for a park, dedicate it where it can't ever be used for anything else. It just doesn't register with me that you wouldn't at least consider it. Mr. Kyle said a while ago, 75,000 would go nicely against helping you build a fire station, which everybody wants. But you missed the figure, Mr. Kyle. If you figure the land, it's gonna cost you $117,000. As Mr. Spencer told us, you had $85,117, and then you take off $56,000 deducted. The mayor said it would cost to fix another side. You still gonna be on the sunny side of $100 grand. And you know, when you're talking about money, that's not all the money in the world, but that's money. And city money is just like your budget money at your house. You just can't, you just gotta cut corners where you can cut corners. But anyway, that's on the table. If you got any questions, Mr. Corson here, he'd be happy to answer for you.
Well, I didn't really read that word, but since we got into this, obviously that property can never be sold to be developed. The question is, the city perhaps, with assurances from the engineer, could get it to a stage. Timothy could never be sold for a service station or some other right. You wouldn't want to do that. And you're talking about the water under it. Bill should tell you this, or the engineer. You can't drill 50 feet away and get at a different aquifer. We're in the aquifer now where the water's coming from. So whatever water's under there, we've got it now. We don't need another hole in the ground. Costs us $10,000 to drill a well. And by the way, we've got a new well coming in now. And what do we pay for that property? $10,000? And it's gonna be a very good well site. So, you know, 75, you can have your cake and eat it too. You can keep it for park property. By the way, that 38 acres was bought during my first term as mayor for $29,500 for the 38 acres. We offer you 75 for 3. We don't need it. Just go ahead and protect it. That's all we want you to do. But if you want the $75 to let us protect it for you, seems like that's a pretty good deal. Thank you.
Hey, does it have restrictions on it? Mr. Corson, does it have any sale restrictions on it?
Does what?
Does it have any sale restrictions on it?
Sale restriction?
Can we sell it? So that's
I'm sorry, I'm deaf.
Like when you bought it so cheap, did they put any
I
restrictions on
don't, you
selling
know,
it?
you better look back at the minutes or call Gladys Prentice about that now. We bought it for park property.
That's what I'm saying.
I think this would satisfy that, I mean, the deed.
But
You got your attorney here, I think the deed could be written so that it would be utilized.
one problem we got, you know, is I know there's a dispute about it, but, you know, I've got an opinion that says it can be built on, even with the wellhead protection. So, I mean, I guess we have to have some restrictions on something like that too.
Well, I don't see any point in it. We just want to vote it.
I understand. I'm not,
And we don't need to get crossways.
right.
We need to work toward the same end, and hopefully that's the attitude that we've expressed
Sure.
this whole time, and trying to make it attractive for you
Oh,
to
yeah.
overcome some shortcomings on perhaps your second choice.
Right. We appreciate it.
And
I just don't worry about it if we can sell it.
And don't think I don't appreciate it, but you know,
You
the
hard
rock
hearted,
came
man,
out
I
there.
want you.
You know how I am. I don't waver from things, but at the same time, you know, I never closed the door. It was brought to us once before, and I remember when it was brought to us, but now you're bringing it back again.
Am I taking a little air out of your balloon to think that water under is worth a whole lot to us?
No, you haven't taken
I
that.
didn't, okay. Ask Frank.
But you all right.
Ask Frank about it.
Yeah.
So y'all wanna just take it under consideration?
Yes.
I'd like to say to the water board though, thank you, because we do appreciate the offer. And we are taking it extremely seriously, or at least I know I am.
Can I ask them something real quick?
Sure.
If there's some stipulation on selling it, would y'all be agreeable to a long-term lease?
I think that's something we'd certainly consider. It's the same, it accomplishes the same thing for the city and for us. We can protect it. Maybe y'all would like to have the money.
I got a feeling 100-year lease, ain't nobody knows gonna be here.
We're willing, Johnny, to work with the mayor and council any way we can. It's in a reasonable manner.
Gotcha.
And I might ask you in your due diligence, what y'all are considering this or kicking it around. You talk about you may have trouble, or you may have some incumbents or some cloud over it or something. The place I would look at first, if I were in y'all's side of the fence, I would look at my bond issues that you have bonds with the city, and see what is incumbent on those bonds. See what those bonds are written, how they're written, and what is the, you'd have to go to your lawyer for this. I understand y'all have expert lawyers, good lawyers, and bond lawyers, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch. But I would go there and see what the incumbents are, instead of, if you have enough interest to get a title check. I don't think that that's going to benefit you a lot. I think that if you go to the bond issue and see where you stand there, because if you pledge some of that particular asset to the bond people, or they've looped it in their bond issue, and this gets a lot deeper to me now. That thing's that thick, so I'm not trying to tell you I'm an expert on that, but I would think that you might want to look there.
He's saying the property might be covered by some of the law.
I mean, that's what he's suggesting. I've never heard that. I don't know. We would have to all probably like that.
Well, all the general obligation bond on Bass Pro, all the city of Leeds is encumbered. Because the general obligation bond on the whole city. That's the only one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I thought he was meant to. He's talking about.
Is that what you talking about, Mr. Moore?
What I'm talking about, I was told by some attorneys that I spoke with that do some work in this field. I don't know either. I'm far from expert as you can get on this. Or in fact, I don't know much about it at all when it comes to the issue of the bonds. But if Leeds Water Works, if we have something that's incumbent in the bond, we pledge it. In the bonds, we cannot sell that until those bonds are paid off, and then we can sell it. Or if we do sell it, or attempt to sell it, we have to get permission or release from the bond people that have loaned us the money. And I don't know what, the mayor might know what the city has pledged. It's just something that
Right.
you might want to look into.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem on this, but we'll look into it. We appreciate it.